Hello, welcome back to my channel, and today we're taking a look at Ghost of Tsushima in 4K with ultra settings, 60 frames plus, no DLSS, but with enabled frame generation. So what we're gonna do is just double check everything is in order here. So we're going with obviously full screen, 4K native, no vertical sync, and everything as it is. Anti-aliasing is on DLAA. NVIDIA reflex latency is on plus boost, and DLSS frame generation, but there's no dynamic resolution scaling enabled. For graphics we're going with a custom because that's the only way to max this game out. So we're going with a very high preset, 16 times anisotropic, everything's on ultra, everything's literally cranked apart from depth of field. Obviously, I mean that is kind of useless in this game to begin with, and everything else is as much as we can go up for the eye candy. And the reason this video is being made is on the requirements for the Ghost of Tsushima for 4K 60 frames, very high setting, they want you to have 4080 and an i5 11 gen, and I'm rocking an i5 96K and 4070 Ti. Now granted, DLSS or should I say frame generation will pick up a huge slack, but at the same time MSI Afterburner is in the upper right corner, so you can guys actually have a look how it all looks and feels, because in general even on PS4 Pro and PlayStation 5 you're generally gonna be getting 60 frames all things considered, and graphically there's actually no difference, but at the same time the game actually looks amazing. And what we see here is we're pulling 9.2 gigs of video memory, 12 gigs of RAM, and we're above 60 frames. So what we're gonna do now is quite physically we're gonna go and find trouble. We're gonna find someone who wants to duke it out with us or something else, and just see how that impacts the frame rate. Open fields obviously is kind of on a low specter of benchmarking because there's not too much things on the screen. So we're just gonna go through the fields here first and head over, because we should be hitting some Mongol patrols. I think there's actually one right here as well. The HUD is slightly disabled just to not show all the things, but essentially this character is pretty much maxed out in terms of katana, and we do have 5 balls of resolve, and we do have the heavenly strike. So obviously this run is started with all full resolve, so we're only gonna use these couple bits. Now in general I would want to say that the game runs absolutely perfectly fine. So every time you guys see requirements for the game to be run, and this game has got implementation of DLSS or frame generation or AMD FSR frame gen on, you can literally get this game to run absolutely perfectly on your system as well. So let's see how we fare against these guys, because I cannot see their feet.
I'll
so
put that sword to good use after you're dead.
And we just replenish our resolve gouge as well, so all in all that is pretty decent, to be fair. Obviously with reduced HUD you do not get the option to open the box easily, like this little circle, so you kind of need to go around the box. But yeah, it's still, the GPU usage is 98%, and we're still pulling 11 gigs now, because probably with all the things happening on screen. 12 gigs of RAM, and we're above 60 frames, and honestly the game is absolutely fluid. Like
Arjun! Bartala! I'll live!
So yeah, and obviously I've seen quite a few videos out there that actually says, oh, you need a pretty beefy PC to run this game in 4K. I would want to call it ultra settings, but it would be a little bit unfair because honestly the preset is very high. But at the same time, if you actually go with everything within the game, it's actually gonna look way different. So we're just gonna go with a very high and just keep with that.
Get down!
That's a little bit rude, is it?
Down!
We can block arrows, so it's not too much of a hassle here.
Get down!
But yeah, the game itself, it looks and runs absolutely fine, and honestly I haven't seen the moment this game actually drops below 60 frames with these settings, which is, I was gonna say, you know, it might not be the best PC port when it comes to it, but it is pretty decent. Like obviously, you know, I could go on and about God of War port, which in my opinion was a little bit better in terms of performance, because with even 3070 Ti you could actually get 60 frames plus with everything maxed out, including ultra settings for ray tracing and ray traced reflections in God of War. You might need to use DLSS if you want, but for this particular title, 4K very high with frame gen on, and you're consistently above 60 frames with an i5 96K and 4070 Ti. I would want to say this is an absolute bargain, and this is one of the reasons why some people usually ask me so why I'm not upgrading, right? I mean, if you play games like this, do you really need to upgrade? Because this game is not benefiting from very high frame rates anyway.
Ready? Ой, өнөөхийг чи хардаа. Хаана вэ?
So yeah, just a very quick comparison in regards how this game looks and runs on these settings, because I don't know, I've seen a lot of negativity, and obviously I made the first video when this game just came out in regards to its performance. Got a bunch of dislikes, and I was like, well, I did say the truth, all things considered. With DLSS and frame gen enabled, this game is just pretty much unplayable when it comes to it. It just drops the frames and it cannot keep consistent frame rate. But with DLSS off, and considering that anti-aliasing is on DLAA, which is deep learning anti-aliasing, so it takes whatever it sees and it smooths it over again, and considering we're playing in 4K native, I mean, I honestly cannot say that this is not playable. This is It's just a settings issue, I would want to say. Like, it's not the game's issue, it's just the game's settings. The port itself from PS to PC is lacking a little bit here and there. It's not a bad thing, I guess, but it's just very honest, unbiased opinion about all this, so yeah. Anyway, that's all I have for you guys today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Over and out.